I spent years waiting to feel motivated. I genuinely thought that's how people change. One day, I'd wake up with this unstoppable drive. I'd feel inspired. Everything would finally click. And from that moment on, I'd become the person I'd always want to be. So I waited. I watched the videos that promised to motivate me. I listened to speeches that gave me goosebumps. I'd finish them feeling unstoppable. This is it. This time, it's different. I'd make a plan, I'd clean my room, write down my goals, promise myself that tomorrow was the beginning of a new life. Then, tomorrow came, and I felt nothing. The excitement was gone. The fire I felt the night before had disappeared before breakfast. So I'd assumed something was wrong with me. Maybe I wasn't disciplined enough. Maybe I just needed another video, another podcast, another quote, another push. Without realizing it, I became addicted to feeling motivated instead of actually changing. I wasn't building a life, I was chasing a feeling. And feelings don't stay. That's when it hit me. Motivation isn't the thing that changes your life, it's the thing that convinces you you're about to. There's a difference. Motivation feels incredible because it lets you imagine a future without paying the price to get there. For a few minutes, your brain experiences the reward before you've done the work. That's why watching someone else succeed feels so powerful. Your mind mistakes inspiration for progress. You leave the video feeling like you've already moved closer to your goal, but you haven't. You've just borrowed someone else's fire, and borrowed fire always burns out. I started noticing something else. The people I admire the most rarely talk about motivation. They talked about showing up, about doing the work when it was boring, when no one was watching, when they were tired, when they didn't feel like it. I used to think those people had more motivation than me. Now, I think they simply stopped negotiating with it. They understood something I didn't. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline is the one who pays the rent. The biggest lie I ever believed was that I had to feel ready before I started. I thought action came after motivation, but my life kept proving the opposite. Some of my best days started with me not wanting to do anything. I almost skipped the workout. I almost didn't write. I almost stayed in bed. Then I forced myself to begin. And somewhere in the middle of doing the work, the motivation showed up. Not before, after. It was never leading me, it was catching up to me. That changed everything. I stopped asking myself, do I feel like it today? Because the answer didn't matter anymore. The version of me that only worked when he felt inspired was ambitious. He was dependent. He gave his future to whatever emotion happened to visit that morning. I couldn't keep living like that. Because emotion changed with sleep, with stress, with the weather, with one bad conversation. If my goals depended on motivation, they would disappear every time my mood did. So I stopped respecting motivation so much. Not because it's useless, because it's unreliable. It's a beautiful beginning, but a terrible foundation. Now, when I don't feel like doing something, I don't panic. I don't wonder where my motivation went. I don't assume I've lost my purpose. I just remind myself the person I want to become is probably doing it anyway. Not because they feel inspired, because they made a promise to themselves that wasn't based on emotion. Maybe that's why I think motivation is a scam. Not because it doesn't exist, but because we were taught to worship the spark instead of the fire. The spark gets all the attention. The fire is what actually keeps you warm. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that the life I wanted was never hiding behind another motivational video. It was waiting on the other side of the days I didn't feel like showing up. Those were the days that changed me. Not because I was motivated, but because, for once, I stopped waiting to be.